Maybe it's just the way I am. I'm a branding coach, right? So when I get introduced to someone, especially rappers and even producers, I'm looking at you different. I'm looking at you different to how fucking Mike Jones done. Mike Jones! Not that Mike Jones, but any Mike Jones looking at what you do, right? And they're essentially gonna take for granted the technical things, right? They just dope music or whatever, or a dope person, whatever. But maybe as a branding coach, I look at it a bit differently. And the way I look at it is going to be the same way that people who can give you opportunities to progress in what you do, it's going to be the way they look at you. Investors, it's going to be the way they look at you. Companies, labels, it's going to be the way they look at you. And one thing I notice when I look at artists, for the most part, right? I don't know what the fuck you represent. I know you make music, I know you're pretty good at that. I know you got some funny statuses and shit. But what do you represent, right? And it just feels like most people are just representing themselves. That's cool. One life, live it how you want to live it. But if you're just representing yourself, who feels attached to that? Who feels like this is a movement for them? And this is, definitely a big thing when it comes to artists who just rap about money and rap about, how dope they are and how dope their life is and blah blah blah, all that shit, right? How are people gonna feel part of that movement? Like, yeah, you can get big and shit. But I don't feel like, these rappers that don't tie in something that can build a community, I don't feel like they're the ones making money at all. In fact, in my experience, the ones that need the most, I see people with thousands and thousands of fans, they get hundreds and hundreds of likes. But they hit me up and they're like, how do I make money off this shit? People fuck with me, but nobody spends no money with me. And it's like, that's because they think you're dope, right? Because your skills are there, your music on point, but you don't represent them like that, right? Whereas another MC might not be as dope as you, but really represents something, is really out there affecting the world, is really out there touching on issues that hit home with people and building up that emotional connection. So it's not just a thing where I might enjoy that rapper, I feel connected to that rapper and I want to see that particular one win because of what they represent. Because them pushing forward and bringing awareness on the things they talk about and the things they do is going to help my life, is going to shed light on my life and the things that I go through, right? Oh shit, got a phone call coming, one sec. Fuck out the way! But yeah, if you're not representing something, you're not going to build up that kind of movement, right? Those die-hard movements where people are behind you. And it's got to be concurrent through all the things you do, right? So in your music, you need to have a particular brand, a particular theme, represent a particular thing. If you make video content, for the most part, you're going to have to be concurrent with that. Of course, you can differ from it and try new things. That's half the battle, is trying new shit to see what works. But there's always got to be this one thing that connects everything you do, and that's what you represent. And if you're not representing things that are important to other people, if you're not representing a certain type of person who doesn't feel like they get the light shed on their situation and the kind of things they go through, you're not really gonna be able to build that cult, that hardcore follower bit, not even follower, like literal supporters, people who support you. But I'm just a branding coach and I look at things a certain way and I notice things and I pay attention to things that most artists will overlook because they're too busy making music and pushing forward on that side of things. And I think if you truly want to develop in any kind of business, you've got to know your audience, you've got to know your customer, you've got to know your game. And that's the problem, is that most rappers just don't take the time to learn that. They just want to make music. They want to impress the girls. And, have people think they're dope, but it's way bigger. Just saying, man. Don't get mad, get motivated.